Welcome to Last Week Pod News. Here are last week's highlights from Theo Vaughn's This Past Weekend.
Join Theo Vaughn in this episode of This Past Weekend as he reflects on a moving cemetery performance and discusses the constant pursuit of self-improvement. Theo Vaughn shares a video clip of a woman singing a gospel song at a cemetery, which he finds deeply moving. He reflects on the beauty of the performance and the idea of helping people find peace as they transition to the afterlife. Vaughn discusses various monthly challenges like Sober October and No Nut November, as well as some invented humorous ones. He views these as a way for humans to continually challenge themselves and grow through discipline. Theo reflects on the Declaration of Independence after listening to Ken Burns, noting that the country's existence is not a guarantee. He suggests that maintaining a nation is an active process that requires constant care and contribution from its citizens. Vaughn talks about the distance between his ideal self and his current reality, pondering the work needed for self-improvement. He expresses a desire to be more responsive to life rather than reactive, moving away from past patterns that haven't yielded good outcomes. After an ad break, Theo takes a call from a listener whose friend keeps falling for women who identify as lesbians. Theo offers humorous advice, suggesting the friend might be looking for a man in the wrong places or should reevaluate his dating preferences. A student calls in asking for advice on how to get a girl's number before Christmas break. Vaughn shares stories of his own severe social anxiety in school and recommends a humorous, low-stakes strategy to build confidence. Theo takes a lighthearted call from a drunk listener who professes her love for him and garlic bread. Vaughn enthusiastically agrees, diving into a detailed description of why garlic bread is one of the best comfort foods. Theo responds to a caller who feels lonely and sad during the holidays, despite the societal pressure to be happy. Vaughn discusses his own struggles with isolation and encourages the caller to find small ways to bring joy to themselves and others. Theo Vaughn explores the idea that behavior can reshape beliefs and emotions over time, suggesting that one can act themselves into positive thinking. Vaughn discusses the pressures of the holiday season and the importance of showing up for social commitments, even when not feeling at one's best. He emphasizes that pretending to be happy can sometimes lead to genuine improvement in mood and connection. Theo shares a listener's advice regarding the challenges of raising twins, describing it as a rewarding yet difficult experience. The caller stresses the necessity of self-care and maintaining a strong partnership to effectively care for children. Vaughn reflects on the importance of showing up prepared and taking care of one's own needs first. A caller shares his struggles with porn and alcohol addiction, leading to a discussion about recovery resources. Theo recommends 12-step programs and highlights specific support groups like SLAA for those dealing with sex and love addiction. He notes that recovery is a daily process and that meaningful change requires consistent effort. Vaughn listens to a heartwarming message from a fan celebrating 1 year of sobriety and expressing gratitude for the podcast's role in her journey. Theo reflects on the meaningful impact the show has on its audience and the sense of purpose it provides him. He highlights the importance of self-worth and the pride one should feel in achieving personal milestones. Theo concludes the episode by discussing the search for purpose and the value of asking for divine guidance in daily life. Vaughn shares the success of a recent charity auction that raised nearly $40,000 for a recovery center, thanking the community for their support. He ends with a message of encouragement, reminding listeners to be kind to themselves and to find joy wherever possible. Moving forward, we join Theo Vaughn and Steven Wilson Jr. for a soul-stirring discussion on the emotional power of music and a live studio performance. Steven Wilson Jr. and Theo Vaughn discuss the personal and emotional connections found in music. Steven expresses gratitude for a paradigm-shifting conversation, while Theo shares how Wilson's songs help him remember his father. Steven performs his song Gary live in the studio. The track explores themes of aging and the disappearance of certain types of people in modern society. Wilson plays another soulful track about grief. Before finishing the episode, Vaughn and Steven reflect on the importance of feeling emotions as a core part of the human experience. Moving forward, Theo Vaughn dives into the holiday spirit on This Past Weekend, discussing everything from ghostly greetings to unique monthly challenges. Theo Vaughn opens the episode with a warm holiday greeting and some lighthearted holiday banter. He ponders the existence of ghosts and how they might celebrate the season. Theo reminisces about the magic of Christmas Eve as a child, He describes the excitement of sneaking downstairs with his siblings to catch a glimpse of the tree and presents. Theo discusses various monthly challenges like Movember and 16 Shit June. He takes a call from a listener in Phoenix who describes the No Burr October challenge due to the extreme heat. A caller shares a difficult story about his ex-girlfriend getting pregnant by another man shortly after their split. Vaughn advises the young man to stop putting her on a pedestal and focus on his own well-being. Theo reacts to a viral proposal video where the woman asks if the man is about to fart. This leads to a humorous discussion about relationship intimacy and a funny story from Shane Gillis about church farts. An 18-year-old listener calls in feeling a rush to grow up and get his life together. Theo encourages him to slow down, try meditation, and understand that discipline leads to true freedom. Theo Vaughn responds to a listener's voicemail about finding a woman with a baseball bat attractive. He jokes about his own reaction to such displays of power and references the movie A League of Their Own. Theo also shares a brief childhood memory of a neighbor who made a strong impression on him. Theo reflects on the nostalgic feeling of the holiday season and the unique excitement of Christmas morning. He shares memories of sneakily eating Santa's cookies and trying to catch a glimpse of the presents. Vaughn emphasizes that the holidays are a time for self-forgiveness and renewal. Vaughn recounts incredible stories of human survival shared by his listeners, including a man who survived a fall from 13 stories. He expresses amazement at these modern-day miracles and encourages others to share their extraordinary experiences. Theo notes that these stories provide hope and perspective on life's challenges. In the final segment, Theo takes a call from an Army soldier heading home for Christmas for the first time in 4 years. He offers heartfelt gratitude to all military personnel and acknowledges the difficult sacrifices made by those stationed away from home. Vaughn concludes the episode by wishing his audience a peaceful and happy holiday season.
That's everything you need to know from last week's episodes of Theo Vaughn's This Past Weekend podcast. Let me know in the comments which episode you are watching next. If you found this summary helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more podcast highlights.